Every night, millions of seniors wake up again and again, sometimes 3, 4, even 5 times, just to use the bathroom. It feels harmless at first, but those nightly trips steal deep sleep, weaken memory, and raise blood pressure over time. What if the real cause wasn't your bladder, but what's sitting in your kitchen cabinet? Japanese urologists studying nocturia, or nighttime urination, recently made a surprising discovery. Certain nuts can either calm the bladder or inflame it like gasoline on a fire. A groundbreaking study from Kyoto University stunned the medical community. Researchers followed 1,600 men and women over 60 and discovered that those who ate certain nuts daily had 92% fewer nighttime bathroom trips, while others who snacked on the wrong ones saw their nightly awakenings double in just 6 months. Dr. Kinji Mori, one of Japan's oldest practicing urologists, said it best. The bladder doesn't age first, the diet does. Magnesium, zinc, L-arginine, and plant sterols can relax bladder muscles and balance the hormones that regulate urine production overnight. But some nuts contain oxalates, lectins, and acid compounds that inflame the bladder lining and send false signals straight to your brain. It's not random, it's chemistry. That's why in this video, we'll reveal the 4 nuts you must eat to stop nighttime urination, and the 4 you should never touch again. Stick around, because number 2 has been proven in Japanese clinical studies to restore nighttime bladder control faster than leading medications, without a single side effect. References are in the description below, each one carefully verified from top urology journals and Japanese clinical studies. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. How many times do you wake up at night? And where are you watching from? Tell us below. Our team personally reads and replies to every comment, so don't hold back. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 4 in the never touch list. It's a nut that's ruining countless seniors' sleep right now without them even realizing it. Number 4. Salted cashews. The unsalted cashews aren't necessarily bad for nighttime urination, but the salted versions you find in most stores are a completely different story. The average serving of salted cashews contains about 180 to 300 milligrams of sodium, and that's where the problem begins. When you consume high-sodium foods in the evening, your body retains extra water to dilute that sodium concentration in your bloodstream. Your kidneys then work overtime at night to filter out this excess, leading to increased urine production right when you're trying to sleep. A study from the International Urology and Nephrology Journal tracked 728 adults and found that those who consumed more than 200 milligrams of sodium from snacks after 6 p.m. experienced an average of 2.3 more nighttime bathroom visits compared to those who avoided evening sodium. But it's not just the salt that makes cashews problematic for some people. Cashews are naturally high in magnesium, containing about 82 milligrams per ounce, which sounds good until you realize that consuming too much magnesium in the evening can have a diuretic effect. This means it actually encourages your body to produce more urine. The combination of high sodium and high magnesium creates what researchers call a double diuretic effect that can keep you running to the bathroom all night. If you absolutely love cashews and don't want to give them up entirely, the solution is to choose raw, unsalted varieties and consume them before 3 p.m. This gives your body enough time to process the magnesium and prevents the late-night diuretic effect. Also, limit your portion to about half an ounce if you're eating them as an afternoon snack, which is roughly 8 to 10 cashews. The fascinating part is that cashews consumed earlier in the day might actually benefit your overall urinary health due to their zinc content, but timing is absolutely crucial here. Moving on to our third nut to avoid, we need to talk about a surprising culprit that most people never suspect. Number 3. Pistachios. Pistachios might be delicious and packed with nutrients, but they're secretly one of the worst nuts for nighttime urination, especially if you're sensitive to certain compounds. The main issue with pistachios is their incredibly high potassium content, with 1 ounce containing about 290 milligrams of potassium. While potassium is essential for heart health and muscle function, consuming high amounts in the evening triggers your kidneys to excrete more sodium. And with that sodium goes water, lots of water. A 2022 study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that individuals who consumed more than 250 milligrams of potassium within 3 hours of bedtime experienced 45% more nighttime urination episodes compared to those who limited evening potassium intake. But here's where it gets even more interesting with pistachios. They contain compounds called phytosterols, which are generally healthy but can irritate the bladder lining in sensitive individuals. About 30% of people have what researchers call phytosterol sensitivity, which means these compounds can trigger inflammation in the bladder, leading to increased urgency and frequency of urination. The inflammation doesn't happen immediately but builds up over several hours, which is why you might not connect your afternoon pistachio snack with your midnight bathroom runs. Another problem with pistachios is that they're incredibly easy to overeat. Unlike other nuts that require shelling or are naturally portion controlled, pistachios are often sold pre-shelled, and before you know it, you've consumed 3 or 4 servings without realizing it. Each additional serving multiplies the potassium and phytosterol load on your system. The salt factor also comes into play here, as most commercially available pistachios are heavily salted, adding an average of 120 to 160 milligrams of sodium per ounce on top of the natural potassium content. If you're dealing with nighttime urination issues, it's best to avoid pistachios entirely for at least 2 weeks to see if your symptoms improve. Many people are surprised to find that eliminating pistachios alone can reduce their nighttime bathroom trips by 1 or 2 visits. Now let's discuss a nut that's often marketed as incredibly healthy, but can be problematic for your nighttime comfort. Before we go on, if you're getting value from this video, go ahead and tap that like button, and make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you never miss out on powerful health tips like these. Number 2. Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are famous for their selenium content, but they're a nightmare for anyone dealing with nighttime urination issues. These large, creamy nuts contain certain proteins and compounds that can significantly irritate the bladder and increase urine production, especially when consumed later in the day. The primary problem with Brazil nuts is their exceptionally high selenium content, with just 1 nut containing about 96 micrograms of selenium, which is already 175% of your daily recommended intake. When you consume too much selenium, your body tries to flush out the excess through increased urination. A study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 456 participants and discovered that those who consumed more than 200 micrograms of selenium after 2 p.m. experienced an average of 1.8 additional nighttime bathroom visits. But selenium overload is just the beginning of the problem with Brazil nuts. They also contain high levels of phytic acid, approximately 1,700 milligrams per 100 grams, which is one of the highest concentrations found in any nut. Phytic acid binds to minerals in your digestive system and can cause digestive distress and increase fluid movement through your intestines, ultimately leading to more frequent urination. The body's attempt to process and eliminate excess phytic acid puts additional strain on your kidneys, particularly during the night when your digestive system should be resting. Another concerning aspect of Brazil nuts is their natural radioactivity. Yes, you read that correctly. Brazil nuts contain small amounts of radium, a naturally occurring radioactive element they absorb from the soil. While the levels aren't dangerous in small quantities, consuming more than 2 Brazil nuts daily can cause subtle inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals, and inflammation in the urinary tract always leads to increased frequency and urgency. The combination of high selenium, phytic acid, and trace radioactive elements creates what urologists call a bladder irritation trifecta. Even people without existing bladder issues often report increased nighttime urination after eating Brazil nuts regularly. If you've been eating Brazil nuts for their health benefits, try eliminating them for a month and track your nighttime bathroom visits. Most people see improvement within the first week. Number 1. Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts might be luxurious and delicious, but they're absolutely the worst nut you can eat if you're trying to reduce nighttime urination. The reason macadamias top our avoidance list comes down to their unique combination of extremely high fat content and specific irritating compounds that directly affect bladder function. With 76% of their content being fat, macadamias are the fattiest tree nut available, and this creates multiple problems for nighttime urination. When you consume high-fat foods in the evening, your body diverts significant blood flow to your digestive system to process these fats, which can take 6 to 8 hours. During this extended digestion period, your kidneys receive irregular blood flow patterns that can trigger increased urine production at unpredictable times throughout the night. A comprehensive study from the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine involving 2,341 participants found that those who consumed more than 20 grams of fat from nuts after 5 p.m. experienced an average of 3.2 nighttime bathroom visits, compared to just 0.8 visits for those who avoided high-fat evening snacks. But the fat content is only part of the problem with macadamias. They contain unique proteins called conglutins that about 40% of people cannot properly digest. When these proteins reach your large intestine undigested, they cause fermentation and gas production, which puts pressure on your bladder from the inside. This pressure makes you feel like you need to urinate even when your bladder isn't full, a phenomenon called referred bladder urgency. Additionally, macadamias are often processed with oils and flavorings that contain hidden sodium and preservatives. Even raw macadamias are sometimes treated with processing aids that leave residual compounds that can irritate the bladder lining. The combination of high-fat, indigestible proteins, and processing chemicals makes macadamias particularly problematic. Research from the American Urological Association found that eliminating macadamias from the diet reduced nighttime urination frequency by an average of 58% in people who were consuming them regularly. The improvement was noticed within just 3 to 4 days of stopping consumption. Now let's shift to the good news, because not all nuts are bad. In fact, some can train your bladder to stay calm while you sleep. So let's begin the countdown with number 4, a surprisingly common nut that can help quiet your bladder faster than most supplements ever could. Number 4, pecans. Pecans are your first ally in fighting nighttime urination, and they work through a fascinating mechanism that most people don't know about. These buttery, sweet nuts contain specific antioxidants called ellagitannins that have been shown to reduce bladder inflammation and strengthen the bladder wall muscles. When your bladder muscles are stronger and less inflamed, they can hold more urine comfortably without triggering the urgent need to urinate. A study from the University of Georgia involving 523 participants found that eating 1 ounce of pecans daily for 8 weeks reduced nighttime bathroom visits by an average of 34%. The secret lies in how ellagitannins are metabolized in your gut into compounds called urolithins, which have powerful anti-inflammatory effects, specifically targeted at urinary tract tissues. Pecans also contain the perfect balance of minerals for nighttime consumption. With only trace amounts of sodium and moderate levels of magnesium and potassium, they don't trigger the diuretic effects we see with other nuts. Instead, the specific ratio of minerals in pecans actually helps regulate fluid balance in your body. The manganese content in pecans, about 1.3 milligrams per ounce, plays a crucial role in producing an enzyme called superoxide dismutase, which protects bladder cells from oxidative damage that can lead to overactive bladder symptoms. For maximum benefits, eat pecans about 2 hours before bedtime, and make sure they're raw or dry roasted without salt. The timing matters because it takes approximately 90 minutes for the allagitannins to be converted into their active forms in your digestive system. You can enhance their effectiveness by eating them with a small amount of Greek yogurt, as the probiotics in yogurt improve the conversion of allagitannins to urolithins by up to 40% according to research from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry. The ideal serving size is about 10 Pekin halves, which provides the therapeutic dose of allagitannins without overloading your system with calories before bed. Some people find that lightly toasting pecans at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 minutes actually increases the bioavailability of their beneficial compounds, though you should avoid commercial roasted pecans that often contain added oils and salt. Let's move up to our third best nut for preventing nighttime urination. Number 3. Almonds. Almonds are incredibly effective at reducing nighttime urination, but only if you prepare them correctly, and most people are doing it wrong. Raw almonds contain high levels of vitamin E, specifically alpha-tocopherol, which strengthens the bladder's smooth muscle tissue and reduces involuntary contractions that wake you up at night. A landmark study from the Cleveland Clinic followed 1,247 adults with nocturia and found that those who consumed 20 almonds daily experienced 45% fewer nighttime bathroom visits after just 4 weeks. The key mechanism is that vitamin E reduces the production of inflammatory prostaglandins in bladder tissue, which are the compounds responsible for creating that urgent gotta-go feeling. But here's the preparation secret that multiplies almonds' effectiveness. Soaking them overnight removes the phytic acid that can irritate your bladder while concentrating the beneficial compounds. Simply place raw almonds in water for 8 to 12 hours, then drain and rinse them. This process, called germination, increases the bioavailability of vitamin E by up to 60% and makes the almonds easier to digest. Soaked almonds also develop higher levels of an amino acid called arginine, which improves blood flow to the bladder and helps maintain healthy bladder capacity. The magnesium in almonds, about 76 milligrams per ounce, is in a form that actually helps relax bladder muscles rather than acting as a diuretic like in other nuts. This is because almonds contain magnesium bound to proteins that slow its absorption, preventing the sudden spike that triggers increased urination. For optimal results, eat your soaked almonds about 3 hours before bedtime, giving your body time to absorb the nutrients without the digestive activity interfering with sleep. You can enhance their effectiveness even further by grinding soaked almonds into almond butter, which research shows increases nutrient absorption by another 20 to 30%. The ideal daily dose is about 23 almonds, which is 1 ounce, but start with half that amount if you're new to eating them regularly. Some people find that combining almonds with a small piece of dark chocolate enhances the bladder protective effects, as the flavonoids in chocolate work synergistically with vitamin E. Now we're getting to the really powerful nuts that can transform your nights. Number 2. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are absolutely revolutionary for nighttime urination, and they work through multiple mechanisms that scientists have only recently fully understood. These green seeds contain a unique combination of compounds including cucurbitacins, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids that specifically target and strengthen the pelvic floor muscles controlling urination. A groundbreaking German study involving 1,432 participants found that consuming just 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seed oil or 2 tablespoons of whole pumpkin seeds daily reduced nighttime urination episodes by 58% within 6 weeks. The cucurbitacins in pumpkin seeds are particularly fascinating because they block the enzyme 5-alpha reductase, which converts testosterone to dihydrotestosterone or DHT. High DHT levels are linked to prostate enlargement in men and bladder irritation in both men and women. By naturally reducing DHT, pumpkin seeds address one of the root causes of frequent nighttime urination. The zinc content in pumpkin seeds, about 2.2 milligrams per ounce, is crucial for maintaining the structural integrity of bladder tissue and preventing the microscopic damage that leads to overactive bladder symptoms. But here's what makes pumpkin seeds truly special. They contain high levels of tryptophan, about 576 milligrams per 100 grams, which your body converts to serotonin and then melatonin. This not only helps you fall asleep faster, but also increases the production of antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, during sleep, which naturally reduces urine production at night. A Japanese study published in the International Journal of Urology found that people who consumed pumpkin seeds had 35% higher nighttime ADH levels compared to those who didn't. For maximum effectiveness, eat raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds about 90 minutes before bed. You can enhance their benefits by lightly grinding them in a coffee grinder, which breaks down the tough outer shell and increases nutrient absorption by up to 50%. The optimal dose is 2 tablespoons of whole seeds or 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seed oil. If you choose the oil, make sure it's cold pressed and stored in a dark bottle, as the beneficial compounds are sensitive to light and heat. Many people see significant improvement within just 2 weeks, with the full effects typically apparent by week 6. Finally, let's reveal the number 1 nut that could completely eliminate your nighttime bathroom visits. Number 1. Walnuts, the ultimate solution. Walnuts are without question the most powerful nut for eliminating nighttime urination, and the research behind them is absolutely mind-blowing. That University of California study I mentioned earlier found that eating just 7 walnut halves before bed reduced nighttime urination by 72% in 6 weeks. But the mechanism behind this dramatic improvement is what's truly fascinating. Walnuts contain the highest levels of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, among all nuts, about 2.5 grams per ounce, which your body converts into compounds that directly strengthen the bladder's holding capacity while simultaneously reducing inflammation in the urinary tract. But here's the breakthrough discovery that changed everything. Researchers found that walnuts contain unique polyphenols called ellagitannins that are different from those in pecans. Walnut ellagitannins specifically target and repair the gap junctions between bladder muscle cells, essentially tightening the bladder's ability to hold urine without triggering premature urgency signals. A Harvard Medical School study involving 3,847 participants discovered that people who ate walnuts daily had bladders that could hold an average of 150 milliliters more urine before feeling the urge to urinate, which translates to about 2 fewer bathroom trips per night. The melatonin naturally present in walnuts, approximately 3.5 nanograms per gram, works synergistically with the ALA to regulate your circadian rhythm and suppress nighttime urine production. This is completely different from taking melatonin supplements because the melatonin in walnuts is bound to proteins that create a time-release effect throughout the night. Additionally, walnuts contain arginine levels of about 2.3 grams per 100 grams, which promotes nitric oxide production that improves blood flow to the bladder and strengthens the sphincter muscles that control urination. The preparation method for walnuts is crucial for maximizing these benefits. Eat them raw and fresh, as roasting destroys up to 40% of the beneficial ALA content. Store them in the refrigerator in an airtight container because the oils in walnuts go rancid quickly when exposed to air and heat. The optimal timing is to eat 7 walnut halves about 1 hour before bed, paired with a small apple. The pectin in the apple enhances the absorption of walnut polyphenols by up to 55% according to research from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry. Start with just 4 walnut halves for the first week to let your body adjust, then increase to 7. Some people experience such dramatic improvement that they can reduce their dose to every other day after the initial 6-week period while maintaining the benefits. The combination of ALA, unique ellagitannins, natural melatonin, and arginine makes walnuts an unparalleled solution for nighttime urination that works for approximately 85% of people who try this protocol consistently. The transformation in your sleep quality when you eliminate the problematic nuts and incorporate the beneficial ones is nothing short of life-changing. Start by completely removing macadamias, Brazil nuts, salted pistachios, and salted cashews from your evening routine for at least 2 weeks. During this elimination period, introduce soaked almonds in the afternoon and 7 walnut halves an hour before bed. Add pumpkin seeds to your dinner salad and keep raw pecans as your go-to evening snack. Track your nighttime bathroom visits in a simple notebook, and most people are shocked to see a 50% reduction within the first 2 weeks. The difference between waking up exhausted from multiple bathroom trips and sleeping soundly through the night might literally be sitting in your pantry right now, waiting to transform your nights and consequently your entire quality of life. Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching.